Hi, my name's Hilary Hipsher, and I have been married to my husband, Dustin, for 15 years. We have a daughter, Peyton, who is 13. We live in Carlisle, and I work for Franklin City Schools at Hunter Elementary. So we were walking around the building. I was showing them the building where we were going to have our first fall event. We were out on the playground, and one of the gentlemen approached me and just kind of said, "Hey, do you attend church somewhere?" And I said, "No, I don't." And he asked me why. And I have a daughter who has autism. So that has been my stopping point for many years, where before it was just kind of, I would always find an excuse not to go. So after he had asked me that, I just kind of brushed it off. But God just kept speaking to me about, you need to look more into Grace Point. So I started watching online. Thanksgiving, we were in Gatlinburg, and I was getting ready, sitting at a table, and I thought, you know what, I'm just going to put that on. And I started watching the sermon, the worship, as I was getting ready that day. The next week I did the same thing, and then I got brave enough to come by myself. My husband works a lot, so it was just me. I was not ready to bring Peyton. After that next week, I decided I'm bringing Peyton, and either it's going to go super well or it's going to go bad, and we'll just sneak out the door and nobody will ever know. But those of you that have seen Peyton here know that she has fallen in love with worship, and she loves being here every Sunday and asks me every day when we're coming back to church. So as I became coming, God just spoke to my heart that I just needed to make sure that I was right with Him. And I just kind of rededicated my life to Him. So before, where Jesus and I had that long distance relationship, and we were on the phone now all of the time, my prayer life has changed. The way I look at my family has changed. My whole presence has changed. The way I look at other people, everything about me has changed, and that's all due to Jesus and just the love that I feel for Him. I got baptized in April of this year. Just again wanted to rededicate my life, not only for myself but publicly for everyone to see. And I joined a grace group with Pastor Reagan, Rooted. There were just a few people in that group. I was the only female during that time, but the group really helped me, just kind of finding my way. We began praying for my husband, and Dustin was not raised in church, and he wanted really no part of church. He would come to support me. He came to my baptism. But one service he came because, again, I'm, inviting him to come, and he came, I think, just to pacify me. Well, that service, really, God was just tugging on his heart during that service, and he wanted to talk to Pastor Reagan during the invitation, and he had to scoot out to get to something quickly. And Dustin told me, "You have to get a hold of him. I need to talk to him today." So as soon as service was over, I reached out to Pastor Reagan and said, "Hey, when can you meet?" He said, "Can you meet me back at 7:30? I said, "We'll be there." So as soon as we walked in, it wasn't long after that, Dustin gave his life to Christ. And a couple months later, he was baptized. When I first started coming to Grace Point and I wanted to get more involved, I was talking with Chelsea a lot because, again, she was with the preschool, she's in with the kids. That's what I do every day, is work with kids. And I did tell her that, I want to serve, but I do not want to serve with the kids. I work with kids all day long. So, when I get home, that's not what I want to do. And when I come to church, I don't want to do that at church either. And as time has gone on, God has softened my heart. And the more that I have prayed about it and thought about it, it wasn't that I did not want to serve the kids. It's that I didn't feel prepared to serve the kids. I don't feel that I have the knowledge to serve kids like I should. But God gives us what we need when we need it. And I know that I may not know everything when it comes to the Bible. I may not be able to recite every book in the Bible in order, but I do know how to love on kids, and I know how to love on their families. And when they come into church, that's one thing that I know I can do for sure. And God's going to help me with the rest when it comes to teaching them the Bible and leading them to Christ. When I was given the opportunity to work with Grace Kids, again, I was still hesitant, but I began praying about that. And again, God just told me that that's, what He wanted me to do. And as I've been meeting with other people, other leaders within the church and trying to plan with them, we have some really great ideas that we're going to try and put into motion for these kids. A lot of fun activities. I'm excited to kind of head that up. I feel that sometimes that our little kids get left behind, and we really need to make sure we're building those foundations for them because they are the future of our church. My name's Hilary, and I'm so excited to serve at Grace Point Fellowship.